Anyways, we don't have the fancy intro like they do, so we're there's their intro. We got it. I didn't have an intro, but whatever. Let me turn down. I think the music's at a good level. If the music's still too high, someone let me know.
Yeah, we appear to be live. Hello, everyone.
My smooth brain, of course, forgot to put the stream latency to low, so there's probably going to be a good 20 seconds or so stream latency between like the chat and us, but whatever. I don't want to pay attention to them anyways. Excuse me. I'm not refined. Hello, welcome to Cypher Not Unlimited. It is the Golden Ones takeover for this week because all the other guys are just kind of being like lazy and just doing nothing. So I was like, well, I'm taking over. So yeah, we are going to do something special. We've got we've got a variety here. We got 3 people. We kind of like replaced the normal crew. Oh fuck, am I the Anthony? Is that what I am? I want to be the Al. But hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a laid-back night. Serious echo, guys? Fuck. Is there? Hostile takeover. Is there? Is it? One of you two speak for a second.
Testing.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to shut off my computer speakers. I'm good.
That'll do it.
I have noise canceling headphones. I do that all the time in the middle of the night. I'll be like, I'm being quiet because everyone's sleeping and things are like blasting through my speakers and I don't know it. And I'm like, okay.
Hey.
Don't hear the echo. All right, there we go. Let's go. So welcome to the new Cypher Unlimited, bigger, better, and uncut. Unless Al cuts it up when he puts it on his channel, in which case he probably cut this out, but whatever, it's fine. But we, originally we were like, oh, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. And then Monica Games did like 1 billion announcements. Plus we have a few things to talk about ourselves. So
we've got
I think
so much to talk about.
Yeah, all right, let's... It's gonna be a thing trying to keep this at a decent sized stream, all things considered. Oh my gosh, old Gus, you're posting paragraphs here, bud. I gotta read all this. You want to govern these moderators? I'm not reading that. Yep. TLDR this for me. He's just making stories. All right. So I think before we get into some of our personal topics that we wanted to touch on, because we wanted to talk a little bit about some convention stuff and some possibly cleanup stuff on the server and the fact that we're going to ban everybody because we know the server's just going to shut down in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is totally the truth and not a lie whatsoever. I think let's get into some of the actual MCG announcement shit first of all.
Shall we tell the people who we are first?
That might be a good idea, actually.
These
strange faces. Do we want to?
I guess I don't have names up here, so let's do that first. Look how organized you are. I'm on painkillers and beer, so I'll start out since I'm emceeing and it's on my channel and I say so. I'm Qedhup, QEDHUP. You've probably seen me around. I've been on the stream once or twice. I've run their stream before. So this is actually the second time I've run it for them. And I hang out in the server. I bug people a lot. I let people get really annoyed at me. I have a smooth brain, so I do really bad mistakes all the time. And I make stuff like books like Cypher Manifestation and my Void Home stuff came out today, which we'll talk about shortly. As well as I've done layouts for a bunch of the third-party content in Cypher now. So I'm the layout guy. You need a layout done? Come to me and give me money. Yeah, that's about it for me. And to do the YouTube thing, which you probably know because you're on my YouTube channel. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go first then. Okay, it's no problem. I'll go next. Okay, I'm Solar Maker, also known as Ollie. I've been here for a few years. I'm the UK Golden One, and really wanted to be Sophia, but like, you know, I'm more Blanche. And it's like, welcome. Let's see. I'm coming up from Scotland, and where it's actually 3 in the morning, and I'm awake.
Nice.
I'll pass you down under.
Yeah. Thank you, you two, for being awake at odd times for this.
As you've probably noticed from what's behind me, that's natural sunlight. That's because I'm coming to you from sunny New Zealand, where it is 5 minutes past 4 p.m. I'm Ray, also known in the server as Dissonant Signal. I've been around for a while now, first as a community member, then as a moderator. I've been on Cypher Unlimited twice. Just here to banter and rub it in everyone's faces that it's early afternoon here.
Right, yeah. And we were discussing just before we went live, we went from this being an American-only stream to being a Commonwealth stream.
Commonwealth.
So, we've taken over. All right.
It's time for the colonies to take over.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's. We're gonna hide his faces just for a moment as we're gonna look at the websites. Actually, we should probably. What do we want to handle first? I guess it was the Knights of Dust and Neon. Yeah, I think the first thing that was announced recently was the Knights of Dust and Neon, so we should probably touch on that. So basically, they're doing sort of like the preliminary build-up thing for their next Kickstarter, and I, for one, am super dope, super excited. I don't know about you guys. Yeah.
I'm backing that day one. As soon as I get that notification in my emails, I'm backing.
Like, I feel the community's been begging them. Like, the Weird West is a personal thing. Like, I love my spaghetti westerns. Like, we'll once a year have like a spaghetti western night, watch like the Man with No Name trilogy. So I like a western thing. But I think the community has been bugging for cyberpunk, like a proper like first party cyberpunk book for a while now. So that's kind of a big deal.
So far, this has been the cyberpunk. What Cypher has for cyberpunk is Vert, which is fantastic. But it's super exciting to see that Montecook Games is giving us a first party cyberpunk product.
Yeah. And there's been Vert, and there's also been, what was the other one? There was another one that was I forget the name of it. Something in Chrome, wasn't it? Blood and Chrome?
Blood and Chrome, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah. And I remember touching on both of them, and they're like both of them were decent in their own way. Like Vert, although it is cyberpunk, it also had like a very unique and different feel to it. And Blood and Chrome, it was like early days.
It's very Euro cyberpunk.
Yeah, and it's got like the anthro furries, like weird digital mutation thing. Like it's got its very own flavor to it. Like whereas this, like I look at this art and I'm not gonna say they got really close to Mantis Blades there, but like, like you know what they're aiming for here.
I'm so psyched for cowboys and laser guns, like just that, and like saloons with neon lights. Just that whole aesthetic is just perfection.
I love this like picture of like the vampire gunslinger type thing. Like that, it looks dope.
With the spell cycles, I love the themes look really interesting, and I want to know more.
Yeah, I think we're all dying for more information. We cannot wait to get our hands on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, right now, like being the preliminary, they probably only have maybe a skeletal framework of like it anyway, so it's not like there's much information to give. But I mean, these are definitely things that I know I will use both of these books. Like there's a couple of the white books I only use like occasionally. Like We're All Mad Here is a brilliant book, but I only kind of use it occasionally. These two are ones I can see me using pretty consistently, depending on what's in it. And if Rust and Redemption are any indication of where they're going with like their expansion books, yes, please. I'm going to be happy about that.
I mostly run Numenera, so I don't generally touch the Cypher stuff, but I will say some of the character options stuff, like I was really excited to see more mutant options in Rust and Redemption.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah,
For sure.
so I'm really hoping we see some more like body mod, mutation, more delving into that aspect in the upcoming campaign.
Yeah, Al, you can't wait for Magnus. Notice the way I started the notification today, be like, statement begins. I have so many people like waiting on the edge of their seats for the Magnus archives. I don't know that much about it, despite the fact that like I had Monty and the Rusty Quill guys on my channel. I'm halfway through it, I think, but it seems cool. So it looks like you get like we have this special poker chip thing right now if you sign up to be notified when the campaign launches, assuming you do a fulfillment, of course. So if like it's a click of a button, it doesn't cost you anything to click the button, and then if you guys decide that you do want to back it, you're gonna get this cool little extra like turn marker poker chip thing, which looks pretty cool. I mean, every little extra is pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm happy to get any little doodad that's, you know.
Yeah. For me, especially since it's like $1 billion in shipping just to get anything from Honeycook Games for me.
You think it's bad for you?
Yeah, okay,
that's bad for you.
That's true.
Try living in New Zealand, man. Shipping is so expensive here. It's nuts.
Oh, okay, I'm not gonna.
Plus in the UK and Europe, even with the Brexit stuff, it's because they've got a lovely place down in Exeter. I wish it was in Scotland, because I'd be running it, trust me.
It's mine now. All right. So yeah, everyone sign up for this. Whether you think you're going to fulfill it or not, you might change your mind and you never know. And the more eyes on this, the better. So once again, it doesn't cost you anything. So just give a little click. And then that way, if you change your mind in the future, like you can give her and you'll get the extras. Plus you've gotten like the more people that sign up, the bigger the number, the more people are going to think, hey, this is worth going on to. So one way or another, just click the button. Just nothing bad will happen. I promise.
Only joy can happen. Only joy.
I don't think there's anything else I can really say because we don't know much else.
No, I think we should probably, if we're going to talk about stuff that we know about from today, the Cypher tools.
Yeah, all right. Switching
that might
over.
Be the next, that might be the next announcement to have a look at, because Monty Games has inundated us over the last couple of weeks with massive announcements.
Oh, right. So, Cypher Tools.
We got to get through a lot here.
Yeah.
Cypher Tools, as everyone can see here. So we originally had like the setting finder, which is like, it's a cool little fun doodad just because there's so many settings now for Cypher, and it just helps you narrow down. It's like, oh, I like sci-fi. Okay, try these things. Not something you're going to use repeatedly, but it's a cool little intro tool. I think it was a neat thing to do. The creature index was a big step. The creature index I found was super dope. Even if you don't get all of the info, it at least tells you where to find them and some basics about it, which in Cypher is sometimes all you need. Have you guys used the creature index that much yourselves?
I tend to create all custom creatures for my games, so I actually haven't used it, but I know others who have and have spoken really highly about it.
Yeah, I've also not had much time to play with it, but it's because I like creating my own monsters.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like creating my own stuff.
It's so easy to do in Cypher because like you don't have to have a detailed page of abilities. You can just be like, it's level 5. And you're done.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
So I know the thing
You go on. Yes.
No, I was gonna say the thing I'm most excited for in the Cypher tools is the character creator.
Oh, for sure.
That I am super excited for.
Especially since like I run, like anyone that like has seen me on the server knows I run Foundry as like my virtual tabletop of choice, and being the cripple arse that I am, I play a lot of online more so than in person. So the fact that like it's coming with a Foundry export as part of it, as well as a PDFs export right out the gate, super happy.
I'm gonna. It's gonna be great because I like to run like promo games at local game stores, and I like being able to create characters for like custom characters. And with this, I can literally have at the table go, what do you want to play? Into the details, and I can print it off within, a couple of minutes, and have people with characters that they want to play just done instead of having to sort of play the guessing game of like what people might want to play.
Now, for me and my regular games, excited. I'm probably not going to use it as often for my normal group because, like, I have my Foundry setup. I've spent many sleepless nights because of my insomnia, data entrying. Like, I've got all of Numenera and Old Gods, and like, I've got everything in there from Cypher already in drag and drop ready in Foundry and stuff. But like my things, like my one shots or like my YouTube one shots and stuff that I run with like Bob World Builder and Nerd Immersion and all that, like they don't have access to my Foundry ahead of time. So it's hard to be like, hey, look at character options. It'd be like, oh, cool, where? Now I've got a where, or at least we will have a where.
We will have a where, yeah.
Which will be so nice. Because right now, like, Old Gus's SRD is the best place, and it's really well organized. Like, Old Gus, you're a magical human being. We love you very much. But at the same time, it's a lot of text. Like, you're just inundated with text all of a sudden when you look at it the first time, because it's everything. That's a lot. Like, if I'm like throwing this at a first timer looking at the system, that's a lot.
Yeah. So. And I do, as I say, I do a lot of introducing people to these games. Like, a very large chunk of the games I run are introducing people to them. And I mean, it's already a fairly easy thing to do. Cypher's nice and streamlined. But having sort of these online streamlined tools it just makes the whole process even easier.
Yes. I like to show, especially like new people coming from, like, there's a lot of these like for the YouTubers, like the channels that they just do Dungeons and Dragons, like that's all they've done. So like I like to bring them in the Cypher and show them as like, you can do anything with this. Like, look, like I will show them, be like, Theater of the Mind, I chose level 5 of the monster. You roll basic dice. That's it. That's the system. That's all you need to know. And then I'll be like, all right, next map. We're going to do like gridded, crunchy combat map. And they're like, oh my God, it can do that too. I'm like, it's Cypher. It can do anything.
As we've seen in some of the memes. Sorry.
No, you go for the memes. Go for the memes.
I was just going to say, referencing that, a lot of the memes that we've been seeing posted on Monster Games socials, the ones they've been highlighting, really highlighting that, like, it is just that easy and it's that versatile.
Yeah. The character creators is like, people who know me know I love creating characters, and someone once has like lots of ideas. How do you do this build? Oh, I can do that. And I had some really crazy builds that I've just designed. And it's people have challenged me, and Cypher is so versatile. You can make anything. It's like you want a teleporting mouse from Mars who has like laser breath. You can do that.
Yep.
You want to create a princess from with super growing hair. You can do that too.
Yeah, to answer chat, by the way, Al, because Charles was in chat earlier, like answering some questions and stuff. The character builder is just like SRD content for now. I don't see them opening it up to non-SRD content. So.
The SRD, which I believe now features Rust and Redemption.
It does, as of, was it yesterday?
As of yesterday.
Yeah.
As of very recently.
I haven't got the release yet because I've been working on this video for a couple of weeks now, but I did a recording with Charles last week. And like he filled me in, like, as the white books are getting released, they are trying to keep on top of the SRD with those releases, which blew my mind. Like, a lot of other companies would have a good like 6 months to a year gap, just be like, let's make as much money as possible. But Monte Cook Games wants the SRD to reflect this current state of the game, because they realize like people are still going to buy the books if they want the books, and if they're not going to buy the books, then like, why not give them some fun stuff? And the world lore and all the extras are not in the SRD, so if you still want that stuff, gotta buy the books. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, another golden one has joined us.
Player 4 has entered.
Oh. Round 1, fight.
All right. All the gesticulation. Yeah, I'm like playing with stuff. I'm in fidget mode tonight myself. So it happens. It happens. But yeah, I'm super excited for the tools, and like I feel like with the way they have it set up with the character builder and the creature index thingy now and everything like that, and the fact that they like, I mean, they said in chat today, we want this to be the most feature robust, like online tools that of like any RPG that we can make it. And I'm like, they're going to be adding more. I don't know what yet, but they're going to be adding more.
And if we know one thing, it's that Montecook Games always delivers on their promises.
If not
Like,
beyond.
like if any. One of the reasons I love their products so much is when they tell you that when they tell us that we're getting something, they follow through and we get what they have said, and it's usually even better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like
everything I've seen that they've done is like I thought, okay, I'm not really so keen on that genre, and I thought, okay, I'll just get it. And then when I got hold of the product, it was like, wow. It's exceeded my expectations, and I thought, turn something that I wasn't as interested into something that I love.
Their last couple of releases, I gotta say, like Monica Games books have always been a step above. Like I even look at like some of the semi older ones, like Claim the Sky or whatnot, and the quality, like physical quality of the books are still a step above. But man, recently with like The Weird and Rust and Redemption, like these are books that are not only fun to read the first time and get some stuff, but you have a reason to take them off the shelf constantly to use them.
I mean, you can see just behind me. I have my bookshelf right behind me, and I am constantly spinning around to pull a book off to reference something, to check something, finding a piece of art that I wanted to reference. Just always deliver. Yeah.
Well, it's super nice. Super nice. Although, once again, old Gus's SRD, especially when writing Void Home, has been very important for me. I need my search functions. So, online tools are... I'm happy that we're getting more online tools, like the thing that you see in front of you now, everybody. The Creature Index and Setting Finders are already out. Once again, Setting Finder, that's like a one-time fun thing you might want to try out just if you're new to the products. Creature Index is like, especially if you're not sure what kind of baselines you need or whatnot, it's a good way to like get those, like, you know, like how good should a skeleton be, that type of thing, even though it doesn't show you like all of the cool fiddly bits. But character builder, I'm super stoked. It's going to be awesome. For sure. That was our...
What's next on our list?
Next on our list. The next thing was all the subs. Thanks, people. The video for the starter set was just dropped today. Yep. Charles did that as well, looking just as beautifully disheveled as he always looks. I love that man to death. He's so pleasant to talk to. But yeah, he started showing off the starter set that it's got, of course, both Monty Cook Games and Sean Reynolds on it. Although I believe Sean did most of the work on it, as far as I know, because I believe Monty's been really focusing on the Magnus archives lately.
That is correct.
But like, it's got a lot of bits and bobs to it. The only thing I was a little surprised at was it had a D6 and a D20, but it didn't have any D10s, which was, I was like, huh, okay. A little surprised at that. Other than that, everything looked pretty cool. The pre-gen characters with the art in the back, that looked really dope. Did you guys all watch the video?
I haven't seen the video. I got to playtest one of the adventures. So I can't say a whole lot, but this is going to be something very cool and very special.
This is where we edit the video to make it look like she spilled the beans on something.
I haven't watched the video, but I'm confident that it's that the product is looking good.
Oh yeah, Eileen, you didn't introduce yourself because you just popped in. We did our introductions. We said we were here on a Commonwealth stream, and here you are barging in. So
I know. I am sorry. I'll move. I mean, I'll just go pack my things and
No,
go somewhere else.
you can token Commonwealth. Like, come on in. Go ahead. Who is you? What is you do?
My name is Eileen. My pronouns are she, her. This past year has been an absolute whirlwind. I am finishing up my bachelor's degree, and as part of that, I am doing a Cypher system product. It's going to be eventually, once all the edges are smoothed down, it'll be a teaching tool to teach archaeological methods using Cypher systems. So I'm doing that for my senior project, and last year I had the amazing privilege to intern with Monty Cook Games. If you are a student, by the way, and you're interested in that, they are currently looking for another intern. So go check that out. I believe it is on their words are hard. Careers page.
Oh, careers page. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on the careers page if you are interested in that.
Oh, I gotta go back to school. Okay.
It was an absolutely amazing thing. I got to see, Old Gods finishing up. I got to see the weird. If you hate the numbers and the weird, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I got to help with Best Leave Them Ghosts Alone, which just dropped yesterday.
The numbers. Why would anyone hate the numbers?
I don't know.
In the tables? Me and Old Gus were gushing over that. We're stealing that idea and like everything we do. We like that.
It was a great process. So that's me. That's what I've accomplished so far in my time in the Monty Cook Games spheredom.
Thank you for the reminder, by the way. Pronouns, mine are they, them.
And I am he, him. But also sometimes I use what, who, why. But that's what my
I also respond to oi, you.
Yeah, I'm he, him, Canuck, and asshole, I guess. Al, you're gonna have to bleep me out. I'm sorry. I'm used to running a really dirty mouth stream.
Oh, and I talking about where we're from, I am contractually obligated to mention that I am from Texas.
Oh,
I don't live there anymore, but I'm from there.
I know Texas has a bad rap in a lot of ways, and actually, but like last time I went to Texas, like everyone there was actually super friendly. It was a little weird that like every corner either had a church, a beer store, or a gun store, but other than that, everyone was super friendly.
My hometown is either souvenirs, donuts, or burritos.
There we go.
Well, I have family.
We're a little bit more laid back.
Yeah, so the starter set, he showed it off, like it's got some adventure stuff in it, and like the GM package. There's like 2 different sets of pre-gen characters he showed off, with really awesome like art and explanations and descriptions in the back, like mechanic stuff on the front. Nice like big like landscape pages. For anyone that is like joining into my Void Home stuff, you'll notice that like my sheets are landscape as well. I like landscape pages. That's my preference. Just a personal preference thing, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then like it even comes with like some of like the XP and GM intrusion cards and everything like that, which online obviously I don't have much of a need for them, but when you're in person, things like ciphers, GM intrusions, stuff like that, those cards are invaluable. They're so good. Can't have we curse. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I as long as I don't curse too much, you don't have to bleep me out. Once again, it's not as rough and tumble as my Sunday games where like everyone's like, hold up, and like everyone takes a rip from a bong, and I'm like, all right, let's go. We're Canadian, it's allowed here.
Canadians are wild, man.
We're bored because it's snowing outside and we can't leave.
Yeah, I lived up in Minnesota for a few years, so I get it.
It went from plus 17 like a day and a half ago to it's like negative 12 now. So,
yeah, no.
It's not nice. Or I don't know what that is in freedom units, but it's low.
In freedom units, we went from 81 to 20 in about 10 hours.
Whoa, that's a storm.
It was, so I've had a very bad migraine week, unfortunately. So
Despite having many American friends, I still do not understand your system of measurement, like at all. I don't get how Fahrenheit works. Like, I know logically how it works. I remember that from science class, but my brain, it just doesn't want to. It's just like, no, Celsius only.
So this is the portion of the video where the Commonwealth people start ragging on America. So if you're... No, we're going to leave that. We're going to be nice. We're all friends.
To bring it back to Monty Cook games, I will say I do like when the books include both the imperial measurement and the metric measurement for something.
Yes.
It's not all the time, but I do really like when that happens.
I do admit I have to go through the Void Home. For anyone that looks through the playtest, you will notice something. There's only metric measurements, and everything is spelled like defenses with a C and flavors with a U. Just because I wrote it for myself at first, and I haven't like added the extra Americanisms. So
they'll be all right. Americans will be all right.
You'll figure it out. A C in the word defense isn't going to blow your brain up. So
yeah, I mean, if you see color and you can't really translate it, Google can help.
Right? Yeah.
I'm the one that puts the U in flavor.
I actually put U's in things. I have no idea where I picked that up. I don't know if I just read books that spelled things with U's, but I put U's in things, and one of my professors absolutely hates it.
Whoa.
Like, she gets very, very angry about it, and I'm like, who hurt you, Dr. Z?
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
One of our professors is also Canadian, so that could have something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh, maybe they influenced you or something a bit then, eh?
Well, it was before then, but maybe that's why she's so sensitive about it.
It's a trigger point. All right. There's a little behind war there going with the teachers. Cool. Those are the three major things that they announced this week that we can talk about, right? I'm just doing a checklist here. I've
the update about It's Only Magic.
Ooh.
It was in that. I think it was in the same update as the video.
I don't remember if it was in that video.
I have no access to classified information anymore, so.
I've had a lot of conversations with people lately, so I'm having to be careful in what I say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what's what.
Let me.
I think there was an update email from the Adventures in Cypher System thing, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. And the video was on that, and I'm pretty sure that's where they said it. Let me double check so I don't get any strong lads sent around my house.
Mm-hmm. There's more than one company that can hire nefarious people. No.
Looking at you, Wizards of the Coast with the Pinkertons.
I mean, I wasn't going to name names, but they went there.
Is this a public update? It should be. It's Only Magic has moved through editing, is now in layout, increasing its page count from 224 to 240 pages.
Nice.
They're adding additional campaign setting information. So
that sweet.
Was cool.
Very nice.
That made my day.
Yeah. Like I run a lot of like multi-dimensional, multiversal stuff. Like my Sunday actual play game is like it's Path of the Planebreaker, but like I've really just kind of like everything in the kitchen sink game basically. So I'm excited when new anything comes out. Really. And even then, even if you run like Numenera, like technically with Numenera, you can throw anything in it and just be like, it's science, bitch.
I love the freedom of that was just in a prior world. Just about to throw stuff in. From like popular culture, from other products, just anything really. And it's like it happened. There's a billion years. It happened at some point.
Yeah, you know, the third age was just Shadowrun, so that's why there's like orcs that are
that's
in Cyberpunk.
Actually, it's funny you should say that because there's a running gag in my Numenera group that Shadowrun was I think what they were saying was the second world.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
makes sense. All right. Well, I think that's it for the official announcement stuff. Now I'm going to take over for a second because I did want to talk about the fact that it was a big day for me as well. For anyone that doesn't know, I released the early access for my Void Home tabletop RPG today, which is Cypher. It is Cypher system. Old Gus and I have tinkered with the system a bit. It is still compatible. You can still bring in characters from anywhere with one or two minor tweaks, but we reworked minor parts of the system, the way the conflict system works, and like all of the features are new. It's all new types. Descriptors are all customized, all new foci. Flavors are unique. We use, whereas where a lot of people would use like descriptors for races, we're kind of using flavors for that. So if you're a cat, dog, robot, or like basically futuristic semi-evolved human person, flavors are for that is what we're doing. So that is on my Ko-fi page, which I should, I mean, it's easy enough to find, but I'll just put kofi.com/Qedhup. And yeah, it launched. It's in 3 tiers: $15, $30, and $80. The $80 one was a limited quantity one, which I'm not sure if there's any left. I think there's still a few left. So let's, race for it if you want it, but it gets you varying amount of books. And the $80 one was limited quantity because it will get you not only the promised books, but any other books I write for Void Home until like 2026, as well as like your name in the book and shit. So.
According to Ko-fi, there are 4 left.
4 left. So get them if you want them.
4 left.
Smoke them if you got them. So yeah, you did get yours right away. Awesome, nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm once again, I wasn't expecting anything out of it. Like it's a niche. It's a sci-fi survival horror kind of. Someone described it, because I've streamed a lot of the development actually. Someone's described it as a hard sci-fi in appearance, but then a soft sci-fi in actual mechanics. Because I mean, although in the sidebars I got things like, what does Delta V mean and what is a Homan transfer? Those are cool concepts, but you do not want mechanics for that bullshit. If you have mechanics for that stuff, very few players are going to play that game.
It's called Traveler.
It's called Traveler, yes.
It's called Traveler. If you want like Delta V and like orbital insertion mechanics, it's Traveler. Just
which I'm not knocking that. Like I've played like my fair share of like Kerbal Space Program, and like I mean I've got an engineering degree and halfway through a physics master's, so like I like the nerdy shit, but at the same time in a game it kind of bogs things down. I want you to tell cool stories. So yeah, just as
I mean, I'm also an engineer, so it's like, give me that stuff, but not for everyone.
But it's there's some more optional subsystems in it that kind of, I want to say, sort of crunchify it a little bit. There's extra like more detailed crafting systems and stuff like that. Whereas at the same time, Old Gus and I kind of ripped out the existing combat system and replaced it with something kind of new. There's no initiative order anymore. There's and the way actions work, it blends like physical conflict and non-physical conflict together. So like there's no like hard break, we're in combat now. It all just kind of blurs together. So Gus has really helped me a lot with this. I'll put down a couple of smooth-brained messy words and he'll be like, no, that sounds like shit, and he'll fix it for me. So he's done he's amazing at that. He is a wordsmith for sure. Yeah, visit my Ko-fi. It is mandatory if you're watching this stream that you look at it. You don't have to spend money, but you look at it. I think
tell
that's
a friend.
And tell a friend. Yeah, I think that's enough plugging on my part here. I don't want to take up the whole stream on it. We got other things to talk about. Other cool stuff. I believe you wanted to talk about a certain Scottish thing next.
Well, coming up on in September, the dates are 6th to the 8th, is Tabletop Scotland, and we're going to be, they're going to be actually running at Edinburgh, just outside Edinburgh at the Royal Highlands Centre, and it's the third largest gaming convention in the UK, and it's the biggest in Scotland, and it's got a bit of a local connection to me because the organisers I've gamed with. They live in one of them lives in the same village as myself, and so So it's you know, we know that there will be a bunch of people coming over from pretty much all over the world, which is really kind of weird because it's just like, but it's a bit easier as it's going to be in Scotland and actually Edinburgh. For the past few years, it's been in Perth, and I've attended and I've run Cypher games, and I've got a couple of games running this year. And I believe there's someone actually on the Discord server who's coming over from Europe who's hopefully going to be running something as well. And but hopefully MCG will actually make a presence there apart from us. So Case,
nice.
Please, want you over. We want someone from MCG to come.
Scotland, come on.
More people to come. And I love it because Tabletop Scotland is one of the friendliest gaming conventions I've been to, and it's like everyone's there. They just love it. It's just cool.
All right. So you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons in a castle before? Well, Cypher in a castle. All you need is some dice, and just go invade a local castle, whether they say you can or not, and you get to play in it.
Exactly.
I actually, a fun thing I'm going to be able to do later this year is Cypher system in a planetarium. I had the privilege. I've had the privilege once, and it's going to be twice soon, to have run D&D in a planetarium. But I have been assured that at a later event they'll be a bit more open with the systems, and that I will be able to run Cypher sci-fi in an actual planetarium in the dome with the stars above, like.
That's awesome.
Which I think is almost as cool as a castle. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be running sci-fi. Absolutely.
Right. It's like, we're doing it in a planetarium with all this science stuff. What are you doing? Fantasy.
As cool as it is.
I'm learning. I've been working with one of the people there to learn how to control the planetarium system. And what I'm hoping I'll be able to do is, if the players travel between stars, I'll actually be able to highlight where they are on the dome. Which will be really cool.
That would be super dope. Yeah. That does sound really neat. I'm jelly.
We're so fortunate to have been able to partner with the planetarium as a group of professional GMs to run these events. It's just such a cool opportunity.
I don't really have anywhere cool to run. I guess I could run it at Niagara Falls, but it would just get wet and cold.
Well, I'm getting aggro here, so it's about my bedtime.
All right. Thanks for stopping in while you
I have class in the morning, so
that's more than fair.
I will pop in and say good morning when I get up tomorrow. So
see you back in the server.
We will see you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Catch you later.
Lovely seeing you.
So we covered the main announcements that we're allowed to talk about. We have covered Void Home stuff. Once again, go check it out, everybody, please. I'm begging you. I'm lonely.
Yes, do it now. Or else.
Well, or after the stream. Well, either way. We can't cover so we thought of covering some other things, like we've been sort of having some backrooms discussion on organization in the server and among other things like that. Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up next?
I did very briefly want to bring something up. Some of you may have noticed that behind me there is a cardboard box. It is a cardboard box that once I knew what was in it, I very specifically didn't open the rest of the way. Because
this is an unboxing video now. Oh, here, I'm even going to make you... Will it let me make you bigger? It will. You have the big one now. Hey, you got yours too.
My copy of Rust and Redemption arrived today. It arrived literally half an hour before starting the stream.
That's awesome.
And I am so excited.
Oh, yeah. I was like, when I got mine in the mail, I was like, oh, I'm like vibrating. It was so good.
I forgot it came with a poster map. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that is sick.
I think I'm waiting. I'm delaying the gratification because it's my birthday in May. So I thought, okay, I'll order it, but make sure it comes then.
But yeah,
I'm jelly.
1 second.
So
I'm checking
excited.
something. I'm checking something.
I'm so stoked that it's come. It's going to go on the shelf pretty much immediately. I mean, I've had the PDF and I've read through it, but it's so nice having the physical thing.
Okay. I know it's not Cypher, but sometimes we cover not Cypher. Oh, do your thing first. You're still checking it out.
I just love all the beautiful design aspects they put into the books, from like the borders to
the layout was
everything.
super solid. As someone that's I mean, I do layouts. That's like what I do, right? I was very happy with this. I will say that one of my only major critiques of a Cypher book recently, of a Monte Cook Games books, was the weird. It's a little hard to read sometimes. The layout, I get where they were going with that, and it was super creative, but there are some pages where you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, especially you got old man eyes. It was cool, and it looks nice. I think in physical, it probably isn't as harsh, but digitally, it was a little hard on the eyes for some of those pages. I'm going to admit. And I was a little worried. I'm like, this isn't going to be a thing, right? But then I got Rust and Redemption, and I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is golden. So I was all happy with that. Yeah, I will say, so I got something. It's not Cypher, but I do know that sometimes we do not Cypher things on this anyways. Like they had my buddy on to do the sagas the other day and stuff like that. I just got a free review copy of Crown and Skulls. I don't know if this is going to be backwards or not, but Crown and Skulls. This sucker's thick. I did not expect that. Like, oh my gosh. So I'm still going through that. That is a Al. I think you would like this actually because of like how much you like Morkborg and stuff. I think you'd like Crown and Skulls. It's like Morkborg, but thick with a lot of C's. That was pretty dope.
Great design stuff because Runehammer does fantastic stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you've checked out any of the other products, like it's very straightforward. It's a very light system. There's some things in it that are taking me a moment to process. I'm still digesting it as I read. There's definitely some bits to it, like the fact that like, there's no health system. You lose your skills and equipment instead. I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So still digesting. It's different. But yeah, Al, I think you specifically would like it. You should check it out. The player's guide is like free. You should just definitely check it out. While we're shouting out
non-Cypher products, a book I just got very recently is Coyote & Crow. I just got this. It took a while to get to New Zealand, but finally got a copy in my hands. It is also it's massive, and it is a really cool, almost Numenera-esque sort of science fantasy exploration of North America that hadn't been colonized. So it's sort of a future, not quite post-apocalyptic look at North America through the lens of a bunch of different really fantastic indigenous and Native American game designers, artists, the whole team behind it. It is for people who like Numenera, I cannot recommend this enough. Even if you're just going to use it as a setting guide for a Numenera game, it is brilliant. The only thing I would say about it is this might be a plus for some people. The text is quite big. It's kind of hard to tell, but the text is a bit oversized, which will make it a lot easier for people who are a bit hard of seeing. But it does mean that it is a lot of pages.
I appreciate that, like when it's like at least a decent sized text. Like Monica Games is good with that. They'll have at least a 10-point font. You look at like some like D&D products where it's like 9 or sometimes even 8-point font, and you're like, stop. Like that's not good.
The microscope, you're like, okay.
So your chat is asking, can we talk about more what we would like to see in the next white books? I mean, The cyberpunk one, I think people have a lot of expectations for. Like we want to see like equipment lists of cyberware, first of all, like pages of that, please. And however they want to handle it. Like I've run them as like artifacts myself, and I've added like a fourth pool for humanity and stuff like that. Oh, Terran's in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, you're another layout guy. You understand. Like with Vagabond, you have like a almost 11-point font, I think. So it's my old man eyes need something bigger. Yeah, what are you guys expecting out of, like, let's start with the cyberpunk, the neon, whatever they're calling it.
For White Book, yeah, I'm definitely for the cyberpunk, definitely here for cyberware. Super excited. I'd really love to get a lot of cyberware. I'd also really like to see sort of a more of an exploration of cyberspace and sort of how it relates to kind of like what we got. We have in Numenera where we got like
the data sphere
into the data sphere. I'd really like to see a cyberpunk exploration of that sort of blending of cyberspace and real space. I think that'd be really cool.
You see that in whether it was like cyberpunk, Shadowrun, any of those like genres. There's always some sort of like the net, the Matrix, the whatever. I would like that. If anything, it's weird. If anything, I wouldn't mind it being more like the Shadowrun like Matrix setup. Especially in like the newer editions, as much as Shadowrun is a hit and miss system for me in a lot of other ways. I like the way that they started moving into it being like an augmented reality type of interface. I was like, they're updating with the times. That's pretty dope. That I would like to see either that or do like the retro futuristic thing and be like, all right, we got to like jack in and like go one way or the other, like pick one of those lanes for sure. That'd be pretty cool. I would also like to see, like, I don't know how much they want to do it, how much like, because like Cyberpunk wasn't the only one to do it, but I'd also like to see some sort of impact for like the humanity score in Cyberpunk. I'd like to see some sort of impact with the cyberware. Maybe not like that, because obviously they don't want to tread on things they shouldn't tread on. Cypher also feels like it could be the kids on bike genre pretty easily. That is one thing I've actually asked about before, and they're reluctant to touch on it. I think just because a lot of the Cypher things, like, it still involves like possibilities of violence and stuff like that. But personally, I think if they went the kids on bikes route where like you can't die and or really get hurt, I think it would be fine.
I would also say for like if I could pick what an upcoming White Book would be, there's a couple, but I'd really like to see kind of niche, but I'd like to see a take on, because we're getting modern magic, as we know, upcoming, we're getting sort of a modern magic. What I'd really like to see is sci-fi blended with a very specific, and it's a specific call out to an author who I really like, Glyn Stewart, with the Starships Mage series. I would if I could pick any genre to have be the next White Book, it would be that sci-fi magic, where it's quite hard sci-fi, but with magic in it.
Okay, so not like sci-fantasy where you get that like epic drama fantasy thing, but like hard sci-fi. Obviously, I dig that.
Yeah, it's anyone who's read it, the Starships Mage books. It's very much hard sci-fi. The ships are limited by how many Gs they can accelerate at before killing the crew. It's all sort of very grounded in realism, and then there's also magic.
I mean, I've got the rules for that in Voidhome. If we just add modern magic to Voidhome, I'm just saying we got this covered. We're good.
I just if I could pick anything, it's quite specific, but it's that sort of futuristic magic where we see that blending. Because again, in Starships Mage, it's the only way to do FTL is to use a teleport spell, and so you have these ships that are grounded in a very realistic way. But the only way for them to leave a star system is to teleport.
That's pretty cool.
But again, very specific, but
I do have I have ideas for white book stuff. Like I've got the skeletal frameworks of a couple of white books like in the background. I write a lot. But I've got two. I've got one for isekai anime type of stuff, like over top powered, like, you know, reincarnated, because like a lot of people like that stuff. And I've got another one that I tinkered with called When the Ground Shakes. That's all about like larger than life kaiju battles, mecha stuff like that. So I think that'd be pretty dope.
One of my favorite authors is a fantastic guy from America called Jim Grimsley, and he's gay, and he's written The Ordinary and The Last Green Tree, and it's sci fantasy, and it's very, very weird and quite deep philosophically as well. And I would just like to actually play with that. But there's also, I have like I go into regress to my childhood, and I played Teenagers from Outer Space, which I absolutely love, by Art Halsorian Games, and maybe I think I could easily do a Cypher game of that, where, like, you know, you're all in high school and you're trying to date the prom king, or and then there's going to be some shenanigans from like some alien invader, it decides and they want to just move in, or something like the queue pops up.
That'd be pretty cool. Once again, coming back to that kids on bikes things, if anyone from MCG is watching right now or in the future, consider kids, like, people still like that, especially like, so the people around my age and stuff, where there was like all those kids and bikes movies, like in like the 80s through like early 90s. Like that's still a thing that's still going pretty strong right now. So yeah, do like a Tales from the Loop, kids on bikes, something like that. Yeah, Tales from the Loop.
You should mention it.
That was my first Free League book, and I love it. Like, between that and the art book, oh my gosh. It was, and once again, you can't die in that, because like a lot of people are not comfortable with like violence towards kids or anything. And in those, it's just like you're taken out. You're like, it's overwhelmed you. You had to go home type thing. And you could do that in Cypher. So I think that would be a pretty cool thing. So Cyberpunk, we talked about what we'd want, lots of cyberware, the net type thing, maybe a ramification of some kind for the cyberware. What about the Weird West? So like they could go directions for the Weird West books. What do you think?
I'd really like to see. When it comes to something like we're talking about the West, I feel like one of the things that there's a lot of room to explore is an alternate view with a more progressive lens, because often, especially if I look at the actual history of the Wild West, it was anything but. So the escapist in me who plays these games for the fantasy really hopes to see a more diverse, a more diverse, a more rich, culturally rich interpretation of the Wild West. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, it's not historically accurate, but I mean, come on, we're talking
neither was Old Gods. Like Old Gods of Appalachia, that's not exactly historically accurate either, but they brought in all sorts of like historical consults and like society consults and stuff like that to make sure like they weren't falling into very negative traps, which I think everyone very much appreciated.
And that's what I'm excited to see. What I really want to see is that very is that different take. And the possibilities in it.
So with Weird West, like, I'm not exactly sure what they're putting in this. Like, I imagine like a large chunk of it is going to be setting, obviously, but there's going to be other options and stuff to it. Like Weird West is like, that's mostly just like semi-modern, like Western era, but with like maybe some like magic and other shit in it. So like I'm not exactly sure what they're focusing on that. So I'm interested to see what goes in the book, to be honest. I can't even brainstorm what they're going to be adding. My hope is, like in Rust and Redemption, lots of cool generative tables. I would like to see more tables, like weird shit. Like, what is it for Numenera? Jade Colossus, was it? Or Jade something?
Jade Colossus.
Jade Colossus, yeah. That one had beautiful tables for generating stuff.
Yeah. The Ruin engine.
Yeah.
Is what's in Jade Colossus, the Ruin engine, which I love and use fairly frequently.
Like, for any time I've run Numenera, that book is always open and at the ready, just in case. I would like to see stuff like that. Like, you come across this like dusty western town, and there's going to be like, what's the supernatural occurrence? Like, what's the twist? What's the hidden secret? Like, I would like to see tables of stuff like that. Personally, I think that'd be pretty dope. Gus says, I would buy something heady that is historically accurate, is alternate historical, time travel, or high weird source book. Yeah, I could see them mixing some of that stuff together for sure. Future books, I know it's a sticky point for a lot of people, but I wouldn't mind seeing them branch out to some more like cultural stuff. Like, I know like Dean was putting together that like I forget what he's calling it, but like that Afro mystical book or whatever. Like, I think it's kind of neat when you start getting people coming in to do the cultural things, if they can find the right like contract writers for it and consultants and stuff like that. I think it'd be really neat to start seeing like maybe like fantasy settings from like other parts of the world, like not necessarily the Euro fantasy. I'd like to see more.
I mean, there's been some really cool work being done here locally in New Zealand around different tabletop role-playing game authors and designers sort of exploring that space of fantasy from an Aotearoan sort of cultural perspective, and specifically looking how to incorporate Māori belief systems and sort of then there's actually, and I am gonna plug it here. I gotta find the name of it, but I am gonna very briefly plug a really cool product that a friend of mine has created. Just 2 seconds. 2 seconds and I will find it. It is where are we?
Let's see, a horror fantasy setting.
Like
from Japan. Oh yeah, anything horror from Japan is always like 10% better. Like,
okay,
they know how to do horror.
I just put a link to it in the chat, but it's called Lineages of the Long White Cloud. So for those who don't know, the Long White Cloud, Aotearoa, that's the te reo name for New Zealand, Aotearoa, and it means Land of the Long White Cloud. And this is such a cool product. It's for D&D 5e, which I know a lot of people, especially if you're watching a Cypher stream, might not like. But it's the first, well, it's not the first, but it's a very recent example of a growing community in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to create fantasy cool. And sort of these stories very much from our perspective, from the perspective of our kaupapa, of our like, our people. And yeah, it's something I'd love to see more of. But yeah, just as a brief tangent.
So I actually want to recycle back to the starter set video for a second, because there was some talk on the server about the quality of certain things and maybe expectations of what's in it. Some people were expecting like for instance, some people were focusing on like the quality of the box. Like it was just like, it looked almost like a shiny cereal box rather than like the like lift up lid style like board game box. But I don't know. I'm torn on that because I think there's different expectations. Like, to me, a beginner box should be like a cheaper version of the rules because it doesn't have all the stuff in it, and it's just like almost like a demo, like usually. But some people are like, no, I would pay for a more expensive beginner box. But like, what do you guys expect out of a beginner box, like, or starter box like that?
because there's different ones, aren't there? It's when you look at other things, they've had different approaches to doing the different starter boxes, and it's down basically to people's aesthetics and also cost really as well, isn't it?
I think when I look at a starter set, I kind of expect to see, or a beginner's set, I kind of expect to see an included adventure, a set of pre-generated characters, ideally some dice, and a condensed rule book. Like, I don't think most people anyway won't expect a company to put their entire core rulebook in a beginner's box.
Yeah.
But I do like when, like for me, I like when they have the soft cover sort of boil down the mechanics, and it's enough to successfully run not only the included adventure but a couple of other smaller adventures before. So I guess for me, the main criteria for me for a starter box is that it can be used to run not only the included adventure but also further adventures, because ideally it's a low cost way to get into a system that isn't a I mean, here in New Zealand, for a hardcover rule book like Numenera, you're looking at $100 to $120 New Zealand. Whereas
Shipping
a starter
sucks.
set can easily be 40, like it.
Yeah.
So I like it when a starter set is, I don't expect the whole system, everything, but I do like when it's enough that it can be a group can take it and can run with it for a while, and they won't feel that I want them to want to buy the more expensive products. I don't want them to feel like they have to buy the more expensive products to play the game and have fun.
I think that's the same direction I was thinking, because like if I get a starter box for something, to me, once again, that's kind of like it's your demo experience. So like you'll get X number of sessions out of it. Maybe you can improvise a little bit more out of it and stuff like that. Like I'm not expecting like an Invisible Sun box or like something from Beetle and Grimm or like something like super well set up. Like I'm expecting a box, and I don't really care too much about the quality of the box itself per se, but I'm expecting those like basic rules, couple little extras, some like pre-gens to go with, and like some dice, like enough that like if you have nothing, this gives you the something you need to at least try it.
I would actually I would slightly disagree with you on the need on wanting a quality box.
Well, get out of the stream.
Just okay.
No disagreeing.
Now, okay.
Okay.
There is a reason though, and it's because I had a really bad experience with a starter set box, and it's probably the only bad experience I have ever had with a Monte Cook Games product, and it was with the Numenera starter set.
I've never actually looked at that.
I wanted to bring one to a convention so that I could basically I try to bring stuff like that to conventions to give out to my players who look really interested in doing more, and I really wanted to give this away to one of my players as a way to start their own group, but because of the relatively lightweight construction, it got flattened in transit quite badly, and actually ripped a lot of what the paper stuff in there, and so if it had just been in a slightly more resilient, rigid box, I think it would have been okay. So I do. It's again probably my only negative experience I've ever had with a Monte Cook Games product. Is I just really wish it was more like the D&D Essentials or starter boxes, where they use quite a thick, solid cardboard.
Or the Pathfinder,
and it's more like a board game, and it's more like a board game box. So like that. And also because, again, it's a starter product. It's for someone who's not, probably not a collector. It's going to get tossed around, especially if you're giving a starter set to younger players. That's going to get tossed around. It's going to get banged around. And so I really think that a solid box is actually really important for it.
Those all fair points.
But again, that's
like
just,
Sorry, what was that? More
again,
Yeah. So you probably have some concerns because, like, I noticed, like, you said you hadn't watched the video yet. It looks like it's very thin cardboard. Like it's a fairly lightweight package. Like the stuff in it is solid, but the box itself, like it looks like it's a fairly lightweight package. Probably similar to the Numenera starter set that you were describing then. Once again, I haven't actually looked at the physical copy of that, so I'm not sure. But I can see where you're coming from to that.
I'd say if I was going to shout out any starter set for being really, really resilient, it would probably be the first edition Pathfinder starter set for a really solid box. Like that box is bomb-proof. It is a great box. At least in my experience, it's also the D&D ones, the D&D starter set. I've had my D&D starter set since it first came out, and it's still together. Box is still holding up. And it's not like haven't had really nice boxes from Montecook Games, like the Numenera, the Reliquary boxes, the Black Cube. There's a lot of those sort of
Black Cube's a whole nother ballgame.
But you know what I mean, and like the more rigid, solid construction, like it's meant to last. Like I still have the components from my personal Numenera starter set, but that box that was gone within, I don't know, 6 months because it just couldn't. Whereas my D&D one I still have from back in 2013 or whenever I picked it up, and it's still a box that can be used. So
actually, 1 second. I gotta get another prop. I'll be right back.
we got a prop. We got a prop coming in.
I think good. I've been learning some really durable stuff. Heavy duty. Yeah, that's totally. Let's see.
Because it's like, because I live in the country, so I have to travel to the nearest city to run in-person games, and that's about a 2-hour trip. And it's a 2-hour trip, usually on a train. And so I really value really resilient products and boxes, really resilient packaging that can handle that journey backwards and forwards. And it's, I feel like for me, a starter set, I really, really do like it to have a good solid board game style box.
There we go. Okay. So
we got a prop. Here it comes, folks.
All right.
Are you ready?
So this is why it's important to have solid boxes, because if something's going to last a long time, this is old. So
nice.
It's like I got a folder with it. This has been through the war, and like me as a child, it's probably like more tape than box, but it is solidly built enough that it has survived all this time.
Oh yeah.
My dad's one doesn't. It looks about the same.
Right.
I think I've got a couple of some of their stuff.
I know I was dissing them earlier, Wizards of the Coast, but like one thing I'll say they do really well is the deck boxes you get with bundles. Like these things are really tough. They can take an absolute hammering and still keep going.
I have an unstable table over there that's being held up by a couple. Like. And
you know it's sturdy when you could use it as a building material,
right? And I agree with the chat. Like Forbidden Lands, also very solid stuff for Forbidden Lands too. I mean, anything for Free League.
What you got there? Down there?
Lots of creation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I done that years ago, and it's still tough.
Nice.
That's one of the earlier multi-genre RPGs.
So I'm excited for what's in the beginner box, but you do have me thinking about the box itself. We'll see. I mean, I got to get my hands on a physical copy of it. It looked kind of thin in the thing, but once again, I don't remember what the price point for that was. Like $30.
Also,
we had a price point for it, didn't we? 25?
Was it $20? I can't remember from the Kickstarter.
If it was, because I mean, if it's cheap enough, then I mean, as long as it's not coming in like cellophane wrap or something like. Yeah, I don't.
So
remember.
just as I can't find it, but the Numenera starter set was 25 USD.
I can see it being pretty similar.
And I'm pretty sure the Cypher one was about the same, 25, 26 USD.
Okay. So
I think
$25. I mean, I'd be alright if it's like a thinner box. That's like it's a hell of a lot cheaper than you're for buying like full on books and stuff at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we would love more quality shit, but at the same time, if this is just you're buying a couple of cheap ones to like toss out to like kids at the school or something like that, and I mean, like as giveaways or something, I mean, I'm fine. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm good with that. And from everything he showed in it, once again, the only thing I was a little taken aback at was the fact that it was just a D6 and a D20.
That is an odd choice, yes.
Because the D10s are used for stuff.
Yeah.
Like I see, like you don't need like a D4 or D12 or anything like that, but like, why not the 10-sided die? We do have percentile stuff. So I was a little that was odd. I expected the 3 dice.
Yeah, because normally when you get a cypher set of dice, it's the 3.
Yeah, because I got mine with Rust and Redemption. I also had some extra dice from, I think it was Adventures in Cypher Systems, or I had ordered it from somewhere, whatever. And yeah, it had a D10s in there. So I was surprised it didn't have that.
All the standalone dice sets have, I think, if they're specifically for Cypher, they're usually 4 dice: a D20, a D6, a D10, and a D100 or a percentile.
Yeah.
I think all the standalone Cypher, Numenera, Strange, all those dice sets have been set to 4. Potentially, I think one of them was a set of 5 because it came with 2 D20s, but.
So
yeah,
they're saying it's $30 US in the backer kit for the starter set. It's starting to creep up a bit. At the same time, like, I don't know if you guys have like looked at the price of like printing and paper these days. As someone that's like, I've had to do a lot of the layouts and stuff. Like, shit's crazy right now. So, I imagine in order to keep it in that price point, they might have had to cut a corner there because it's not nice at the moment to get anything printed at all.
No, everything's expensive. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how visible that is on the stream.
That will be in just a second. There we go.
I'm just screen sharing, but like this is
the one
Cypher,
I just got.
Like the Cypher is the Cypher System dice set, and you can see it's a D20, D6, D10, and percentile.
Yeah.
And that's and I think that's sort of carried through. You can see the Tollus dice set's more because of course for D&D. But yeah.
Look at that. He's got a tab open with my Ko-fi on it, whereas everyone should be visiting.
I do have a tab with your Ko-fi open on it.
And what's that other tab? Something Hub. What? No, okay, never mind.
Lineage is the long white cloud, everyone. Promoting it again. Look at this beautiful product. Let's look at this beautiful cover. Look at it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's not visiting anything bad. Don't worry, everybody.
There we go. Hey, who played that? That's cheeky, but
I have sound effects. I'm a streamer. All right, yeah. Did we have anything else we really wanted to cover? We seem to be very good at the jibber jabber here, so.
Yeah.
We are quite good at the jibber jabber. This is true.
But I know like the Cypher Unlimited streams don't tend to be much more than like an hour and change or whatever, and we're at 1.5. So
we're not quite 1.5. We're 1:20.
I've got 127 on my counter here. So I've got, but mind you, I did start the 10 minutes early, I guess, for the starting soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
did we want to wrap things up with some discussion about the server? I mean, we are we are the golden ones. We are admins for the server. That's kind of like our gig in the community.
Right. We forget about that, and sometimes we got to pretend that we do stuff. Cool.
So we put work in. You go just yeah.
Exactly.
Despite the rumors, no, the server's not been deleted. Scurrilous rumors of such a highly exaggerated. there is a lot in the works. Do we want to talk about what was being discussed earlier?
We don't have anything set in stone. Like, we are just spitballing at the moment. So, like, if anyone has any like suggestions, but we have looked at like reorganizing, or rather organizing, because they're not even really organized right now, like the setting channels and everything. Yeah, because right now they're in haphazard.
One thing I know is that a lot of people are getting the odd comment coming on about, oh, what about Rust and Redemption, or and there are channels that are not necessarily as well known, and that may be because people just haven't actually recognised that we will create a channel for when a white book or is actually produced. So I hope at some point we're going to get a Void Home one.
Yeah, we have been agreeing that the setting channels are getting out of hand. That's why we're thinking of like reorganizing. Like, I think we were spitballing having like a core Cypher area, then like the genre area, then like specific settings, and then like, because we also have like the Harrow and Mystery Flesh Pit, and then maybe hopefully Void Home soon, so like a third party section. And if we have them in categories, might be a little easier to search. We
see people's feedback. We know that, especially the Cypher System settings tab is a bit of a mess. It's a bit in the weeds. There are ways we can organize it. We're also aware that we have a lot of channels, like a lot of channels. And so we're sort of, one of the other things we're always vaguely toying with are ways that we can, streamline or combine things and sort of weed it down a bit.
I mean, I had spitballed the idea of a forum, but at the same time, was it you? Someone brought up the fact like then you have to it's one more click deep to see them, which kind of sucks. So it wouldn't really work out, and that was very much correct. We could put index or contents page for a channel so folks can choose. That's not a bad idea. Having it in the main channel.
I'm pretty sure we did. I know we had one because I remember making one. I remember making one a while ago, and I have no idea where it went. But I did
it just
make
disappeared.
One.
Having would be a good idea to have it so that people could. That way, everyone goes to it and so think, oh, okay, and you can always go back to it to actually refresh yourself.
I mean, that could definitely be in a newcomer area. Or something, like you first go in and be like, so here's all the stuff you need to know, and then underneath this, here's the list of our everything.
We also probably need to get a little bit better at giving channels descriptions, because of the browse channels feature at the very top of the Discord, where it lists all the channels and includes the little description that's included. One of us should probably spend half an hour going through and tweaking those, and
there's some sub descriptions that could use a little bit of cleanup, and even maybe some more closer defining on things like what creativity chatter specifically is and stuff like that, because I've had some questions on it.
It's on our it's one of the many things on our list. You of course don't get to see this, but the moderator channel is, most of the time it's just one of us going, hey, I had an idea, and just discussing that. The thing we sort of need to work on is implementing them.
There are a lot of pinned comments, not sure what to do about that. That's the hard part, is you want to keep them thematic, so you kind of like to keep them in that channel. If it's about creativity or publishing, you want to keep it in that channel, for example. But then it gets lost because you don't think about the pins, or there's too many pins in one channel. And you could do a frequently asked questions about each one of those, but then it's just a hodgepodge. It's just really hard to figure out what to do about those.
I will say in response to the comment on just sticking to Cypher System games, that is definitely, Cypher System is definitely the core focus, as well as Numenera. That is definitely the core focus, but we do have a small but quite vibrant community of Invisible Sun players,
Yeah.
And so we want to, even though the name is Cypher Unlimited, I know the guys would agree with this. We want to be both your one-stop shop for chatting about Monty Cook Games stuff, but we also want to be like a place where we can sort of incubate, people's campaigns, people's ideas across the Monty Cook Game system. So even though it's called Cypher Unlimited, it's sort of emphasis on the unlimited rather than the just Cypher part.
Just be glad for those of you without the mod things, you can't see all of the channels.
Yeah, we see everything, and it's
especially in like the game chats and stuff. There's a lot more channels than you'd think. Like, take the number of channels you can see and like triple it. That's what we see.
Easily triple it. Yeah.
It's a lot of channels.
Not
there.
that we're complaining, mind you.
No. Like, it's nice to have that vibrant of a community. Like, we're up to almost 7K.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are officially at, and it's not. We're officially at 5,731 people.
All right, so almost
5,731.
That's a lot of people for a Discord server.
And I will say that we have a disproportionately high number of people who are active, because a lot of servers have a very big chunk of inactive users.
Yeah.
Who just joined and forgot. We're really fortunate to have not only a really big community, but one that's really active. Because I mean, like, at the end of the day, and it's going to sound cheesy, but like, at the end of the day, the reason we're doing the stream now, the reason we're volunteering to run things, is because of the community, and the community that I think all of us love a lot and want to see grow. And so, even though sometimes we might complain, and even though sometimes we might not get it right, whatever we're doing, it's for the love of the community, and for everyone that we have in. And that's why we're all here.
I gotta say, like, that's a big draw of the Cypher system for me. Like, obviously I love the system itself. I've like just developed something in the system, but I love a lot of systems. Like, I'm very much I want more tools in my toolbox type of guy. I don't limit to one system, but I cannot think of a single other system that has a community tied to it like this. Like, bar none. Every other system I go to, it's either fractured or filled with toxicity, or like, I don't know how we keep this one as clean as we do.
It honestly, like, I've moderated for other places, and I will say that bar the occasional problem, like, I guess a really good metric for how like good our community is I think you can still add up the total number of people we've banned on, I think it's under 20 in the entire history of the server.
That for like a 6K server, that's crazy.
Like, ignoring bots, we ban a lot of bots.
We
ban a lot of bots, but like members who have had bad conduct who have banned, I'm pretty sure it's under 20. It's like 16, maybe 15. It's really small. Manny
Annaluz, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Like you were saying, like, yeah, you'd like it to stick to just Cypher, and not necessarily the other MCG stuff. I mean, the other MCG stuff, it's not that many channels, all things considered, and you just go to browse channels and just hide the ones you don't want to see. It's not a lot of them. The Discord is still primarily focused in the Cypher system, but we might as well cover. Yeah, we're all things MCG, as Dean says. Like, you look at things like The Weird, for example. That's not a Cypher book. That's a system agnostic book. It has nothing to do with any system. But it's still really awesome, and I think it belongs to be covered in one way or another. For sure.
And yeah, I shout them out again, because they're a small group, but our Invisible Sun community. They're a small subset, but there's some really cool stuff going on in the Invisible Sun channels. For those who want to get into that sort of stuff.
I mean, I haven't popped in there much at all myself. I don't really, like, I'm interested in it, but I haven't really got into it. But like, there's no reason for them not to like kill it and have their own section.
Like, just and shout like specific to community member, especially James, who's from Australia, a friend of mine. he is one of the like cornerstones of the Invisible Sun community that we have now. And it's even if it's not your thing, we do want to, make sure there's a home for it here. Because, well, I mean, sometimes we're hoping that people might change their mind. They might go, I guess I might check out this other thing and be like, oh, okay, I do like it.
Or what is this stealing stories for the devil thing? Let's go see.
What is this devil's dandy dog? What are we doing here?
What we're doing is trying to look at ways of making this server more approachable, so that people, when they actually see it, they're not actually inundated with all the things that we see.
Yeah.
And so that they can, it's clean and it's kind of logical or intuitive, and so it just works.
I do remember someone mentioned, I don't remember if it was Synth or one of you, about redoing the roles again and maybe cleaning up which roles could see which, like you could like do the whole like click, I want to just see the white books and nothing else appears. I mean, I know that was a bit of a nightmare the last time we tinkered with it, but
yeah, that's come up a couple of times. We've tinkered with that a couple of times to get it to work. It's not super easy given how many people we have.
Yeah.
I'd say it comes up every 6 months maybe that we sort of talk about redoing the roles. One day we probably will.
It's going to be a task. It's going to be like, hey, everyone, the server's going to be fucked for 3 days. Just deal with it. Like, we're about to tinker with things. Specifically, Al is about to have some nightmares because he's the one that usually ends up having to answer a lot of that.
It's under fire, goes Al.
Dean and Anthony are just going to sit back and be like, I'm old and I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm making fun of you. I see Dean in the chat. We've got ideas to clean it up. I think if I want to say now, if anyone else has any ideas, like, I don't know, we could make a thread in general or something, or if someone wants to make a thread in general, I believe anyone can make threads, I think.
Yeah.
I like threads. It keeps things nice and neat. So like we can make one be like suggestions on cleanup. Like, if everyone votes that we just want to have a single channel named Dumpster Fire, all right, like we'll figure it out. Whatever
I'm just
going to
I'm just going to create a thread. I'm going to do that right now, in fact.
Oh, there you go.
General.
So we're going to have a thread for it. And this way we can get some suggestions. I'm not promising we're going to listen to said suggestions. We don't even listen to our own suggestions sometimes, so don't take offense to it. Like 3 of mine got shot down. I ugly cried for a bit, but then I got over it. So like I mean, we've already had a couple of decent ones in here that actually weren't too bad. So we definitely obviously listen to the community because that's all we really are. We're not official representation of anything. We're just the community. So
we're just sort of we're just community members who have a slight, what's the word I'm looking for, masochistic streak.
You're going to second a channel named Dumpster Fire? Let's go.
That's seconded, so that's going to happen now.
We'll see.
Wild West. Don't go in there unless you want to see bad things. It's like 4chan in Discord form.
Oh, no. But yeah.
I forgot that was
at
beer.
the end of the day, it all comes back to the community and everyone who's in it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing, like good last discussion point for us is like go check it out. Where did you start the thread? Is it going to be in general?
I've started it in general. Yep, it's
in general. Okay, so go check out. Yeah, there it is. Server suggestions.
Server suggestions. That's the channel.
Ugly cry. That's what it was. I thought you were laughing. Yeah, no, it's. I go and ugly cry in the shower like I should. It's my spot. Dean knows. He's seen my house. Yeah, Yeah. All right. So I think that's probably a good place to start wrapping up, unless you guys have any final anything. Whoops.
No, I'm good.
I'm also good because my bed is looking like I'm in the scratcher. This is scratcher cam.
I'm really excited to dig more into this.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Super good book. So I don't know what Al's going to do with this video in the future. It's going to be on the Cypher Unlimited everything. I forgot to copy and paste all the links for all the Cypher everythings. Just search for Cypher Unlimited in all of the socials. You're going to find them. There's not exactly going to be a lot of copies of Cypher Unlimited. So whether you're on the YouTubes or the YouTube's X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Blue Sky, they spend a lot of time there. Twitch, but they got a strong Facebook. I think I still haven't joined the Facebook. I know they mentioned there is activity on the Facebook. I gotta actually join that. I don't use Facebook. Like, Facebook's just to talk to my mom, so I never think of it. And then whatever other social hubs they're on, like the Hub or like Anthony's OnlyFans or something. Other than that, I think that's about it. All right. So
I'm just posting the links to all the
good.
Unlimited stuff in the chat.
There you go. And then, so while you're doing that, once again, one last little plug for my shit. Void Home is released for early access. The first package is just a sliver of the content. It's like the basic shit with a little adventure, 6 pre-gen characters, enough to kind of get you started with it. It doesn't have the character creation in it yet or anything. It's just enough to get you the rules, the pre-gens. It's basically like a starter set is what I've done.
Does it come with a nice box?
It's digital, so probably your computer. It's so hopefully your computer's a nice box. But yeah, it's so hopefully, like, it's pretty basic. I still try to like somewhat pretty it up because I mean that I do layouts, right? That's my thing. I gotta pretty it up. So it's still like, even though it's like a test package, it's still nice to look at, hopefully. So check it out. And you've got it, like, I'm probably gonna run a couple of one-shots on the server. So, like, look out for the LFG posts. Speaking of, have we launched the forum bit for that yet? I don't know. I don't know. There might be changes to LFG happening as well. I don't know when or if that. I don't know when that's happening.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. I think Mike was the one that was saying I wanted to go live, but we haven't done it yet. So. We're going to be changing that up to organize that. So, because there's LFG is a bit of a Wild West nightmare once in a while. So I think we're going to clean that up first. So check the LFG. I'm going to have some Void Home stuff going on there. So even if you haven't bought into the playtest yet, but you want to give it a try, who knows? Maybe you can get into like a one shot or something and like try it out. That type of thing. Awesome. All right. With that. I think we're going to say adieu and we're going to clean her up for the night.
Thank you for joining us. It's been nice talking to you all.
I don't remember what the normal outro is, so like I'm just going to like pretend I'm talking for a second. Al, you can like dub over it, be like,
and from us at the CU, we will see you later.